Now is my voice is audible? Now is my voice is audible? Yes, okay. So someone is telling that there is some error is there. Uh, yeah. So I will solve the error later. Okay. So in the last 5 to 10 minutes, just remember me. I'll solve your all doubts. Okay. It's not clear. Now is it okay? Okay. So it's clear. Okay. Fine. So yes. Someone is telling error, right? So errors and all I'll solve in the last 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is enough to solve the errors, but starting we'll focus on concept. Later I'll start solving your issues and all. Okay, whatever problem you are getting. Yeah, that is what. Your project is not working great, Chinmay. I'll check this issue. Okay, last 10 minutes I'll check the issue. Okay, so definitely it will work. Some small mistake will be there. Okay, while creating the project. So sometimes it will happen that I will clear. No need to worry. Okay. So yeah. So what we have discussed yesterday. So we have discussed about we have taken some data from the front end, right? We have taken some data from the front end and we have stored into the back end, and at last we have taken from the back end and we compared. That is what we have done. Okay. So and one more thing, guys. Mostly today will be your last online class. I'm thinking. Okay, maximum today, or if there is one class is there means one more online class will be there. I think so. Later it will be offline only. Okay, we will see that. Yeah. So we are taking the data from front end. So you have to understood main thing how to take the input from the front end while you are creating your own project. Okay. So design part leave aside. Design we'll see later. Okay, as of now we should not focus on design. We have to focus on how to fetch the data and all. So we are having form.html. So this one I'll rename it as register.html. So in which project I have created, so it is not. So I have created receiving data. Yeah, we are receiving the data from front end, right? So this one I'll rename it as register, refactor, rename, register.html. Okay, one is register.html, one is login.html. Right. What we have discussed here, we have discussed how to take input. So see, these and all form tag, field set, hey, legend, these are all. Yeah, I'm revising the project only. Uh, these form tag and field set and legend tag, these tags are HTML tags that you Yeah, now is my voice is audible? Now is my voice is sorry. Yeah, voice is audible, right? Now is my voice is audible? Now is my voice is audible? Yes, okay. So someone is telling that there is some error is there. Uh, yeah. So I will solve the error later. Okay. So in the last 5 to 10 minutes, just remember me. I'll solve your all doubts. Okay. It's not clear. Now is it okay? Okay. So it's clear. Okay. Fine. So yes, someone is telling error, right? So errors and all I'll solve in the last 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes is enough to solve the errors, but starting we'll focus on concept. Later I'll start solving your issues and all. Okay, whatever problem you are getting. Yeah, that is what your project is not working right. Chinmay, I'll check this issue. Okay, last 10 minutes I'll check the issue. Okay, so definitely it will work. Some small mistake will be there. Okay, while creating the project. So sometimes it will happen that I will clear. No need to worry. Okay. So yeah. So what we have discussed yesterday, so we have discussed about we have taken some data from the front end, right? We have taken some data from the front end and we have stored into the back end, and at last we have taken from the back end and we compared. That is what we have done. Okay. So and one more thing, guys. Mostly today will be your last online class. I'm thinking. Okay, maximum today, or if there is one class is there means one more online class will be there. I think so. Later it will be offline only. Okay, we will see that. Yeah. So we are taking the data from front end. So you have to understood main thing how to take the input from the front end while you are creating your own project. Okay. So design part leave aside. Design we'll see later. Okay, as of now we should not focus on design. We have to focus on how to fetch the data and all. So we are having form.html. So this one I'll rename it as register.html. So in which project I have created, so it is not. So I have created receiving data. Yeah, we are receiving the data from front end, right? So this one I'll rename it as register, refactor, rename, register.html. Okay, one is register.html, one is login.html. Right. What we have discussed here, we have discussed how to take input. So see, these and all form tag, field set, hey, legend, these are all. Yeah, I'm revising the project only. Uh, these form tag and field set and legend tag, these tags are HTML tags that you Yeah, now is my voice is audible? Now is my voice is sorry. Yeah, voice is audible, right? Okay, yeah. So yeah, till where you have understood? So completely it's audible. So what we have done here by using request.get parameter, we are taking the data from the front end. Okay, so it's like a key and value. So name attribute, whatever you have given here in the form. So the same data you have to give. Copy and paste it, don't type it. Okay, so based on this, if you enter this name means whatever user entered inside this input tag, the data will be fetched here. Okay, same age we are going to fetch, email we are going to fetch, phone number we are going to fetch, password we are going to fetch. So all the data we are going to fetch and store it in one variable, particular variable, right? So then what I'm doing, 5 steps, executing the 5 steps. So loading register, okay, then establishing the connection, then we are creating the platform, okay, using prepared statement, and we have done some placeholders here. So if we are having some placeholders, then we have to set the parameters. Okay, so we have to set the placeholders, right? How we can set? With the help of set star method, that is based on if user is entering name is a string, so string type data. Okay, age is a int type data I have given. See, whatever given in the database, based on that you should store. If you see here, DSC. Okay, so now you can see ID is of int type, name is of var character, age is of int type, mobile var character, email var character, password var character. Wherever you are using var character, for all those things you have to give set string method. And wherever you are using age, you have to provide, sorry, wherever you are using int here, you have to use setInt method. Okay, so now id is the right field. Id I am giving it as auto increment. So I already told you how to give auto increment. So one more time I'll tell, listen. Right click on the table and go to alter. While creating table itself, actually you have to do this. So here auto increment option is there, right? Nearly id. So make a tick mark on that, so then apply it, so auto increment will be updated. Okay, id will be automatically incremented, right? So now let me add one data. So wait, let me rerun the code. Run as run on server, save, and then I'm selecting the server. Okay, I'm restarting the server. Done. I'm entering some name. I'm entering some Biswajit, and let me take some age 23, and phone number I will take it as some number I am taking, and mail is biswajit at gmail.com. Then we will take some 5678 as a password, register. Registration successful. When you click on register, it will come to the service method. We are taking one by one data from the front end, and here we are inserting the data. So we have successfully inserted, there is no exception. It means if you refresh your database table, you can see Biswajit is added. Then what we have learned, one more page called login page. User is entering mail ID as well as password. Okay, so I am telling that here I am checking here is mail ID and password is there or not. First, I'll take the mail ID and next I am taking the password. So we know based on email and password we can fetch the data. So that is why I'm using select star from user where email equals to placeholder, that is we have to pass this data. Then password is this data we have to pass. Okay, so after setting these two, we are going to use execute query. Okay, once the execute query is executed, it means select the query has been executed. Means result set will fetch the data into the buffer. From buffer we have to take the data. Okay, in the buffer memory, if there is any data, you can print the data, or you can tell that welcome to homepage something and all you can give. Okay, but if the date, if rst.nextInt returning false, that means there is no next row, then it will be the invalid mail ID or password. Okay, so this one also we will check. So I'll give login.html. Okay, so here I will give biswajit@gmail.com, and password I'm going to give, so 5678, right? Let me give some number. See, it is showing invalid mail or password. Why? Because result said what it is doing here, you are using pst.execute query. But email biswajit@gmail.com 7890, there is no password is there. In the Biswajit, there is no password like that. So that's why it is not fetching the data from the table. Right? It is not fetching the data from the table. Yes. So that's why it is going to else part and printing invalid email or password. Then I will give 5678. Click on login. So now see, enter data is perfect. So it is welcome to home page. And now how we are getting this data? So whatever user entered data is there, right? The data I am getting here. From the table, whatever data is there, I am getting. That's all. This is optional. We are entering into the home page. This one is the important. So like this only in every login page, in every application, it will be like this. Okay. So when user entered email and password, and if both are correct means, so it is going to accept the data and it will go to the welcome to home page. Okay, you can see in Facebook and all, in any application, in any web application, if there is a login is there, this is the task it is going to be happen. Okay, now here you are telling invalid email or password. So if email is wrong, I want to tell incorrect email. If password is wrong, I want to tell incorrect password. But here what I'm doing, I'm not giving a clarity for the user. I'm directly telling invalid email or password, right? But I need to give a clarity. So how to do that, that we will see. Okay, no need to worry. So understood this? Everyone understood? See, nothing we are doing. So we are just taking the data from the front end. Okay, And this JDBC concept we have done many times. Here we are writing select query, email and password I am giving. Okay, email I am providing, password I am providing. If both are there in the database, so it will return true. rst.nextint will return true. So we are telling that welcome to home page. One small response we are displaying. Right, now we will see the same code only. User is going to give login or logout. So if email is wrong, I will tell email is wrong. Okay, if password is wrong, I will tell password is wrong. Okay, first we are going to check whether the email is there or not. If email is there, based on email, I am going to fetch the password and I will check. So let us create one more class, login servlet 2. Assume I am creating login servlet 2 now. Extends HTTP servlet. Then we are going to override service method. Sorry, HTTP not. It's a generic servlet. So HTTP servlet we'll see later. Then servlet request. One second, let me remove this and we'll directly override it. Okay, so I'll make it as request, make this as response. Now, in login servlet 2, first what I will do, first I'll fetch the data from the user. So user entered some data, right? We can fetch with the help of get parameter. Here I have to pass the name attribute data. So we have given em. See here I have given em. The same thing I'm going to pass it here. And it will return me a data called email. I have taken the email. Then again next data I will take from the user. So I have taken email, then we have to take the password. Because email and password both are correct only, we have to allow him to the home page. Right. Get parameter of password is nothing but pwd. So I'm going to get the password from the user here. Okay, variable name, it's your wish. You can take ABC also. Okay, so but I'm taking it as email and password. Anything you can take. Don't assume that here I'm taking email means I have to give email only. Okay, yes. So then again the same thing. So first what I will do, I'll fetch the email. Fetch through email. Okay, starting I will check whether the email is correct or not. So Chinmay, assume Chinmay is there. Chinmay at gmail.com I'm going to give. Instead of that, Chinmay123 at gmail.com I'll give. Is there any data is there? Data is not there. So while you are using result set, the data will not come and store in the buffer. So rs.nextint method, what it will return? It will return false. Why? Because there is no Chinmay123 at gmail.com and all. We are having only Chinmay at gmail.com. First I will check this. If it is present, then only I'll allow him to check the password. Right. So what we can do, same 5 steps first we are going to use. Class dot for name, form dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver. And so loading and registration is done. Later I'm going to establish the connection jdbc mysql localhost 3306. Okay, here we have to give the database name, servlet data. So add cat class to the existing exception. Okay, so we have established the correction. So loading and register done, establishing the connection done. Next we are having prepared statement, creating the platform equals to connection dot prepared statement. Here I am going to pass the SQL query. What is that? Select star from, okay, table name is user, where I'm going to just check the mail ID first, where email is equals to question mark. See here, what is the column name you are giving here? Email. So the same name you have to give here, email equals to, and then placeholder. Why I'm using placeholder means dynamic data I want to insert. Right, done. Next, prepared statement dot set string. So we are setting the parameter for the first placeholder. Set the email. From front end, what we got the data, we are inserting here. So later what I will do, I'll use the execute query. Prepared statement dot execute query. It will return me the result set object. Store it. Here I am going to tell if rst dot next method. What rxt dot next method it will do? So whether the next line is there or not. If it is there, return, you can fetch the data and move, it will move the cursor. Right? If it is there, we can fetch. If it is not there, what it means? That email is not present in the user table. Okay, so if this data is returning true, I'll do some logic. If the email is not present, what I will do? I'll just print invalid email. So valid invalid email, right? Based on the email only we are checking. So if for suppose email is correct, so email is correct means it will enter into the block. I have to check the password. So user entered password is there, and in the table one password is there. How can we fetch? With the help of result set. So result set dot get string of password I will give. So what it will do, from the buffer memory password, whatever you have entered the password, right, that password it is going to fetch, and that I am going to store it in password table password. Okay, from the table only we have fetched, right? So table password. Now from the table, whatever data previously while registering we have given, that we have stored, and user entered password we are having. So we have to check now these two data. If password dot equals of table password, if both are equal, you can tell that welcome to home page. Else wrong password or invalid password. Okay, so now see, when email is correct, we are going to check password. At that time password is wrong, only it will show password only wrong. So for user we are giving one clarification here, right? So if you use system.out.println, it will be printed in the console only. So I need to print on the browser, right? Which method I have to call? System.out.println will print on the console, right? So I want to print it on the web browser. Yeah. First you have to call the getWriter method. It will provide the printWriter type object. In printWriter, we are having methods called println and print overloaded methods are there. Right. With that help, we can display the data in the browser. Right. So First, we will set the content type as text or HTML. Okay, so after this, I'll get the writer. Okay, it will be provide me print writer object. Using this object reference, I can print the data. So I'll use out.println. I'll use some h1 tag here. H1 tag. So same for everything. I'll make it as h1 tags. So this for this we'll add color. Okay. So first we will check whether it is coming or not. Later we'll see the design part under. So everything I'm giving it as h1 tag only. Okay, done. Now what I will do when user press on this login servlet, I am going to login servlet to class service method. So it will not go to the old servlet, login servlet. We are making it as login servlet 2. It will go to the login servlet to service method. Right. We are fetching here and we are checking whether the email is there or not. While we are using this query, if email is there, so it is going to return true. So email is correct. So we have to check the password. Okay. So let us execute this. Run on server. Okay. So here I have done mistake. Done. Now let's execute this run on server. Okay. So I will take biswajit@gmail.com and I'll give wrong password. So when you click on login, okay, 1 second, some error is occurred. Right, what is the error here? At localhost password is no. Okay, username and password I didn't provided right here. No, not for invalid password. Here see, while we are providing URL, you have to provide username and password, right? Root and then root. Whenever you are not getting any output here, some blank response, first check the console. Okay, because here I am printing the data. If condition is true, I am printing one data, I am sending one response. If condition is false, I am sending one response. I am not making it as invalid data. Right. Save this and let's stop and rerun the server. So yes, I'll close the remaining tabs. Now, email biswajit@gmail.com and some password I am giving wrong. So it will show only invalid password only. So it means our mail ID is correct. Now, first suppose if I am entering email itself wrong. First invalid email. So first it is checking email. So starting itself it will tell invalid email. Okay, so why it is going to next page? In this page only it should show, right? So that we will discuss. That is our next topic. Okay, so if user is entered correct data, it's at gmail.com and 5678 exact data. So welcome to homepage. So you are allowed to homepage. Right? Clear with this, everyone? Yes, okay. Take a screenshot of this. I'll reduce the lines. See, one line of code and all you don't require brackets. From here to here. Yeah. So yeah, so some of you are getting an error. So let me solve this error and let's move to later. We'll move to the next concept. Okay, so hold on a second. So execute the code. What's the mistake you are getting? Execute the code. Execute it. Execute it. Enter some data. Okay, go to the Eclipse. See, exception occurred. 1 second. Wait for 1 second. Data is too long. Column name at row 1. So it is telling that you are taking a big data here. Okay, while storing inside your SQL, so it is telling that it's a data is too long. So try giving a small name. Wait, let me execute it. So let me enter just Chinmay Island. Register. Now registration successful. So it is not taking the spaces here, right? So you have entered big data like that. It is checking. So first let us see whether the data is stored or not. Okay, so this is the user table, right? Okay, see the data has been stored here, right? So is anyone facing any issue? Whatever we have done, registration page and login page, is there any problem? Is you are getting any errors? Is there any problem? Is there? Have you all done first of all? Only Aditya and Chinmay done. What about others? See, there is no problem in your project actually. Right. So you have given a big data, Chinmay. Okay, so Chinmay, Kumar, Jena, a big data you're giving, it is not storing. Okay, so while you're creating the table, you have to increase the var character size. Okay, so var character something you are going to give some 10, 5 like that you have given. That you have to increase. If you have increased now, it will work properly. That's all. Okay, if you give small data, it will work. So if you are giving big data, it is not working. Yeah. So then if everyone is clear, shall we move to next concept? So yes. So here we are displaying invalid email or password and everything is correct. So this is our program we have done. That is first we are taking email and next we are taking password and we are storing it in password and later response.getWriter. With the help of this we can print the data in the browser. Right. So we have done loading and register. Then establishing the connection is done. Then platform. While creating the platform, we have done the fetching the data through email. If email is there, result set dot next method will return true. If email is not there, so then there will be no row selected. So it means it will return false. It's going to tell invalid email. Okay, so we can add some color also here. So I can give here style equals to some color. I will give it as uh, invalid, right? So invalid, I will give it as red. Style I will give here. Also color, I'm going to give it as a red. I'll give here color as a green. So because email and password both are correct, right? So we are giving green. Save this and let's see. So I'll again go to the login.html. Okay, so I will check biswajit@gmail.com and some 2 3 4 5 I'm entering. When I click on login, it is telling invalid password. Right. So then I'm going to enter a wrong mail ID itself. So what it will say? Invalid email. So it's in red color. So colors and all it's optional. If you want, you can add. And if I enter correct details, on it. So welcome to home page. It will be displayed like this. Okay. So fine. Done. Right. So this is our login servlet too. So you can create a login page like this. So login page logic, this is also one login page logic, as well as this one is also one login page logic. Right, we are having two login page logics. So you can use either login servlet or login servlet too. Login servlet, what it is going to do here in this logic, we are directly taking for fetching from the table. Okay, from the user table we are fetching whether the email and password are correct or not. Right, whether the email or password is there or not. If it is there, it will return true here, rst dot next method. Okay, or else it will return false. Right, so if it is returning false, I'm directly giving to the user invalid email or password. So which is wrong, I can't predict. Okay, for user I want to give clarity, that is email wrong means I'll give email is wrong, password wrong means I'll give password is wrong. So if you want to create the application like this, so you can go to login servlet too. So fetching email, fetching the password, and first we will see whether the email is there or not. If email is there, okay, it will return rst result set dot next method will return true. Else it is not returning true, that is it is returning false. It means mail is not there. Okay, through mail only we are fetching the data, right? If mail is not there, it will return definitely false if the data is not there. So it will go to the else part. Then if email is correct, I am checking with the password, right? Is password is equals to the table password. So table password is what, which we have taken from the table. See, if the data is there, we will fetch one row. So now what I am doing, I am using biswajit at gmail.com, right? So select star from user. So select star means we are fetching all the data. Okay, where email equals to this is the email. Okay, so we are fetching this data. Okay, means we are completely we are fetching this row. We can fetch now. So if this data is stored into one buffer memory, so we can easily fetch name, email, password, everything we can fetch. See here I have fetched table password only I fetched. If I want I can fetch here using result set get string of name also I can fetch. But whatever you are entering here, the data should be same as your table column name. Table column name, right? So I'm giving name here and I'm going to take it as str. Now see, the email is correct as well as password is also correct. I'm telling welcome to home page. Along with I'm going to print string. So that is name whatever we have taken, right? So here I'll just give some message called hello and I'll concatenate with the str. So now what will happen here when you use this? So welcome to home page. Hello. So now from the database we fetch the name. That name will be displayed here. Right. Let us save. Let us check by entering the correct details once again. Now see it is telling hello Biswajit. Okay, for this also if you want you can change the color. I will change the color to blue. So log in again. So refresh it. So 1 second. It's not reloading. If it is not reloading, we'll just restart the server. Yeah, it's working. So server will be restarted each and every time if you save. Okay, automatically reloading will be happen. So if reloading is happening means, so no need to run the code again, just refresh the page. Right, when I enter correct email and correct password and I'm clicking on login. See here, we are getting welcome to home page and we are fetching hello Biswajit. Right, so this is how you can create a registration page as well as a login page. Done, clear with this. Done, okay. So clear, right, everyone? So we are fetching just the data from the database and we are checking with the user entered password. Dot to class service method. See login servlet 2, right? So this is the login servlet 2 page. In the web.xml, what we have done, when user click on the login button, so it will go to the login servlet. That is, I'll show you the login page. Now see, user is clicking on login button. Once user is clicking on this login button, I'm giving the action to login servlet. So login servlet is the URL. Go to web.xml. So it is the URL. So it will go to the servlet name, that is login. Go to login and it is calling login servlet 2. So login servlet to service method, it is going to be called by the container. Okay, first object of this class will be created. Later the service method will be called. Okay, so here email and password has been entered. Then we are setting the content type. We are checking the email is there or not in database. If it is there, we are checking the password. That's all. If password is correct, I'm printing the data. Else I'm returning invalid password. That's all. Okay, done. So let's see one new concept. So there is one concept called request dispatch. Just a second. Yes, so we will see our next concept, a very important concept, that is request dispatcher. Request dispatcher. So request dispatcher is an interface. Okay. So now why do we need this request dispatcher? This request dispatcher is used for transforming from one servlet to another servlet. So transfer rate means I am in this page, that is login servlet 2. I want to go to login servlet page, or I want to go to registration servlet. From this servlet I want to go to registration servlet. Or you'll simply see here, user is going to click on register, right? Once user is clicked on register, it will go to register servlet, right? So we have given the configuration in web.xml. It will come to this page. After all doing registration successful, and it should go to the next page, that is nothing but login. After registration, so it should go to login page, right? So that's why you have to forward to the login page here from here. That will be done with the help of request dispatcher. Okay, so we will be having forward method and include method inside this request dispatcher. So remember, request dispatcher is an interface. An interface. Okay, request dispatcher is an interface. Okay, so in that interface we are having forward method and include method. Okay, so forward method. So when you are using request dispatcher, this forward and include method, these are all non-static methods. So these are all non-static methods. Non-static methods. Okay, so if it is a non-static method, definitely we need to create an object for request dispatcher, right? So we are not allowed to create an object for request dispatcher because it is an interface. So we can create an object of child of the child class of this request dispatcher, but we don't know the child class. Already they have implemented, right? So in the servlet request, okay, so there is an interface is there, right? Servlet request interface. Servlet request interface. In this servlet request interface, we are having one method called get request dispatcher. So we are having a method called get request dispatcher. Okay, in this method, using this method, so what will happen if you call this get request dispatcher method? It is going to return request dispatcher type object. So it is not going to return request dispatcher object. Request dispatcher type object it is going to return. So the return type is nothing but request dispatcher. Okay, so I'll change the color. Okay, so it is going to return me the request dispatcher object. Using that object reference, using that object, I can call the forward method as well as include method. You have to understand the scenario when to use forward, when to use include. And then first of all, you have to understood why we need this forward and include. So from one servlet to another servlet, I want to move. So at that time, we will use this forward method as well as include method. So I will stop this server. Let us create one project. New dynamic web project. I'll create the project name as request dispatcher example. Okay, so here you have to add the jar file and you need the web.xml file. Right click on here, Java W tools, generate descriptor, then servlet API is required that will be stored in server. So previously we have used, just I will copy the servlet API. I'll paste the servlet API jar here. Then later I'm going to create a new HTML file. Okay, so let me take index.html only, and let me create one more page, index2.html. I'll create one more page, index3.html. HTML first page. HTML, this will be the second page. This will be the third page. Okay, so from one page to another page in the HTML, how can we go? So we will create our anchor tag here. Simply what we will do, we will create an anchor tag here. I don't know. Right? So once we click on here, so in the href, I'm going to tell go to the index2.html. Okay, from HTML page like this I can do. But from servlet, how to do that? So now see, when user click on this, I'll write here, click to go to, click here, or we will give it as to land on second page. When user click on here, so he will be landed on second page. So I will use one br tag and br tag, and in index 2 here. Okay, so same thing I'll copy and paste. So in the anchor tag, So when user is click on here, so I'm going to the third page. So third page means index3.html. Yes. So when user click on this page, so it will go to the index3.html. So when user click on here, it will go to index2.html because in the anchor tag we have given go to index2. Here if user is click on here, so we have given index3 page. So and in the same way here, if we want, we can add an anchor tag index.html land on, I will give it as first page. So when user click on here, so he can go to the first page. So let us execute this. So run on server. See, I'm not going to servlet, so no need to go to the take the help of web.xml configuration and all. Okay, you are going through HTML pages only. If you are going to the business layer, at that time it is required, but you are not going to the servlet side. That is business layer you are not going. So only HTML page your communication. So right click on index.html, run on server. Now see, user click on here, it will go to the HTML second page. So click here to land on third page. So when a user is clicked on here, you can observe here index3.html it went. When user click on in the third page, it will go to index1.html. Right. So click on here, see index.html it is going. Again, the in the same index.html what we have. So click here to land on second page. So we'll just click on here. Yes, it is going to the index2.html page. You click on here, it will go to the index3.html. So like this from HTML to HTML, we can move forward from one place to another place. But when it comes to servlet, okay, from servlet, it has to go to an HTML page or another servlet. At that time, you have to use this request dispatcher. Right. In this request dispatcher, we are having two methods. One is forward, one is include. Forward method, whatever our response is there, it will not take that response directly forward to next response. Means, see here, let me create one class, qspiders, and let me give here class name as servlet one only will give. Extends generic servlet. Okay, so here this one I'll change it as request. This one I'll change it as response. Okay, so request and response is there, we have done. Now what I will do here, so I'm not fetching any data from the front end. So from here to next servlet page I want to move. So just here I'll give some response here. First of all, we have to know that is it working here or not, right? So let's check this. First we are going to give response dot set content type text star HTML. So response dot get writer, and we are going to give it as out. So previously, whatever our task is there, here only we are providing the response and all. In the out.println itself, we are creating next HTML page, everything we are creating, all the HTML page in one servlet class only. So now what I am going to do, so I'm going to give here, this is the first servlet. Okay, so later I'll create a class called servlet2. Okay, so here I'll copy the same thing. Here what I will do, I'm going to print the response as servlet2. First servlet, I'll give it as second servlet. So arg0 modify it as a request, arg1 make it as a response. Okay, one more servlet I'll create. See, n number of servlet classes you can create. Okay, so I'll make it as servlet3. Don't create a class called servlet. We are already having one interface called servlet. Okay, when you are having inbuilt classes or interfaces, the same name you should not provide, which extends generic servlet. Okay, here also the same thing. I'll modify it as request and response. Same data I will copy and I'll paste it. But this is what start servlet. Right. So now when from index page, I want to go to servlet1. So I'm going to give one anchor tag here. So I'll give href equals to for going S1. So for click here to land on first servlet. When user is click on here, he is going to land on first servlet, and here user is click on here in this place. User is going to land on the second servlet. So the link will be, I'm going to give it as href equals to s2. I'll give this as s3, and this one will be the third. So when user click on here, go to s1 URL. So in web.xml, so now we have to go with web.xml because this is nothing but we are going with a dynamic programming. Means here servlet one we are going and we are processing the request. Right. So at that time you have to give configurations here. So there is a welcome file list. About this I'll tell later. Okay, so now I'm going to create one servlet tag here. Inside this, first servlet name is required. So servlet name, I'll give it as first one. So first only I'll give. If we are having servlet class, so I'll give the fully qualified name of the servlet one. Copy the qualified name and paste it here. Then so key and value like that we have stored, and servlet tag is ready. We have to make servlet mapping. Okay, so in the servlet mapping, so the first line is same as it is the servlet tag servlet name. After this URL you have to provide. URL is nothing but S1. When user click on S1 link, it should go to the servlet one. Okay, so in the same manner, S2 will be there. Next, S3 will be there. Okay, so this will be the second servlet, and this will be the servlet 2, and here it should we have to give second, and this will be the URL S2. This servlet is third, and here it will be servlet 3. Then the servlet name is third. When user click on S3, it should go to the servlet 3. If user placed on S2, second right, so it should go to the servlet 2. When user placed on S1, it should go to servlet 1. That is, first we have to go to the servlet 1. So check here. In index.html, S1, S2, S3. In web.xml, am I given S1, S2, S3? Yes. S1 link, S2 link, and S3 link. So run on server. Okay, so let us just give some BR tags. Okay, save and refresh it. Okay, so we have done modifications in web.xml, so that's why we have to rerun the server actually. Whenever web.xml changes is there, you have to rerun the server, but server is not restarting. Just we'll stop the server, so we'll terminate the program. Run on server. Remove all, finish. Okay, click here to land on second page, land on first page. That is first servlet, second servlet, third servlet. Now once I click on here, it is going to first servlet based on the URL. If I click on here, going to second servlet. That is the data we have written that only, right? So second servlet, and when it is servlet 3, so it should be third servlet. Okay, when user click on the servlet 3, it will go to the second servlet only it is showing. Let's just it should reload. Yeah, reloaded. Now if you click here, so now it is showing third servlet. Based on the URL, it is going to a particular file. Right? So if you give S1, so it will go to the web.xml S1 link, go to the servlet 1. Then S2 link, go to the servlet 2. S3 link, go to the servlet 3. Okay, so do this much. Request dispatcher, I'll completely explain by tomorrow. Okay, practice this well. First, you have to understood this. Later, I can teach the request dispatcher. Forward and include. See, from this servlet, I'm in servlet 1. I want to go to servlet 2. These and all we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Okay, take a pic of this. Then in the same manner, servlet 2 and servlet 3 also. Then the next servlet 3. Then later index.html. Just take a pic. Next index2.html. Next, index3.html. Then at last, web.xml. So take a pic of this. Then, so first practice these programs. So just check whether these are working or not. So remaining things and all I'll continue in the tomorrow's class. Okay? Yeah, okay. Bye bye.